for the tweet call, I'm gonna tweet the video only link for the people. So you can get them here. Okay, I think we are good. So I'm gonna start with my own stuff. I have quite a lot of issues that are in the dark green color, which is good. So I guess during this week, it was last week, we got the specific preprocess functions committed, finally. Yay. Can you hear?
Everybody's muted and excited.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
excited for celebration.
Yeah.
We're excited in mute land.
Yeah. So though that got committed, and of course, because it was quite a large issue, it cost at least $3, as far as I know. At least one of them is fixed already. We fixed it. Actually, Antti fixed it last weekend at the Drupal Camp Baltics. Excuse me. Which is nice. Beside that, what is my second issue that I have there? We have the plain text render array item in there. So because of there is quite a lot of changes that we are doing for the safe markup API. One of the changes that we've made in order to be able to remove the check plain and escape methods from the safe markup, we've added a plain text item for the render arrays. So because of the markup actually allows people to output some markup, some whitelisted markup to the markup item. But then if people don't want to have the markup there, then they could use the plain text item, which is cool. And the last but not the least is the local tasks got converted into blocks, which is super nice. Yay! That was only a half a year bike shed for me, but it was a total of 5 years.
Year and a half. I've been working on that issue for, I believe, a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
it was quite an issue. Yeah. I've spent quite a lot of resources on that, and I guess there is also other people that have spent quite a lot of resources on that. But it's good that we have it. There is the follow-up for the issue, adding the cacheable metadata for the local tasks, which is very important to work on right now, because we need to do API changes in order to make it happen. So we need to at least get the API changes in before the release candidate. We don't need the cacheable metadata being added before RC, because that we can add after the release. But the API changes in order to provide the cacheable metadata we need. So I don't know if anyone of you has heard, but I'm right now getting sponsored full-time to work on Drupal core till DrupalCon Barcelona. So I might be able to work on that also. And also a lot of other issues that you focused on. Okay, let's proceed for the issues that I have. I have only 2 issues right now in the stack or need attention. Both for the same reason that I think that we need a little bit wider discussion behind them. So I'm gonna go first for the first one that I have there, which is the move template preprocess default variables into services. The biggest problem on the issue is that it's mostly only about refactoring, and I guess there is no API changes in there. So we could just postpone it in the 8.1. So if anyone has any thoughts about that, please leave a comment there. If you can find any reason why it couldn't be done after 8.0 release, comment there, because then it might be good to get in before, because there already is a patch that I think is working. Then the other issue is actually Berdir commented about this on the local on the specific preprocess issues, which is that right now we have hard-coded all these specific preprocess functions to work on the only with the underscore pattern. And if you want to create your own pattern, it doesn't work. So we need to fix that somehow. I was looking at it, and it was something that we haven't done by design. It's just the way it works right now. It's existing bug there. And then I guess we have to decide, even if we want to support other patterns than the underscore. But I think that is something we could talk after the call. So I'm going to give the turn for the next one, which seems to be Louis.
Do you really need to support other patterns, or was it just a case of, I think it was Berdir who brought it up, or he was just using something else?
So he has set custom preprocess functions with other patterns.
Right, but did he need to have other patterns, or it just happened that he was using other patterns?
He was using it. It just
Right.
happened. He doesn't.
But if we just make it, I mean, if we make it part of the API that you have to use the underscores, is that an issue?
No. But there might be use cases where someone wants to use something else. So that is the reason why I want to discuss if there is more use cases that I'm aware of. But let's discuss that after the call, because not everyone might be interested of that. Is that fine, David? Okay, good. So let's just take a look quickly of the Louis's issues. So there is to remove the breadcrumb region in 7, which right now it has the tag needs upgrade path tests, which are the funniest stuff ever to build. So if anyone is up to that, do it. Then the second one is, Louis needs review on the design of the node preview bar to align with the 7 style guide. I think not only it needs a visual review, I think, and it needs a review for the code. There is some PHP logic in there. Who is Anonymous Rabbit? Emma. Okay. I will do the code review. Cool. And Emma will review also the last one, so I guess we have a solution for everything. Oh, you have a... Okay. I'm going to find it. Yay. So, I guess it's Emma's turn.
Okay, right. So good news is the branding block is now RTBC, and I keep refreshing Drupal.org just to see when it gets committed, because it's like it needs to be committed soon. And then what I'm stuck on, I took a look at the Dream markup for tabs now that the local tasks patch also got in, and the tab stuff is very good, but it's also very broken in at least Bartik. I haven't looked anywhere else, but I can look at that, but I haven't got much time. Also, I have some markup in Bartik. This is more of a general CSS thing that I've been looking at for hours today, and it uses this thing to cover cover some browser support, I don't know, from like 2000 and something. And I don't know if I need it anymore. So if anyone knows roughly in their own knowledge that this stuff doesn't have to be used anymore, I can remove it from Bartik. That's the second point. It's his body, not thingy target. I don't know. And then my last thing is David's already responded, but there's sensible list styles and basic issue where I add like base UL and OL styles and then fix any visual aggressions, anything that's there's like 6 issues inside this issue that I've fixed through just adding sensible base things. I know David said that he has an issue that will break this, but if I can get it finished and approved, and if it needs to be postponed, or I can like cut some bits out of it to get it out of David's way, that would be really good. And I just need someone's help because there's no one else looking at it at all apart from Lewis, but I think he's sick of me asking him. So if anyone can really, really help me, that's like the one that's like keeping me awake at night. And that is it, really. They're the things that are, there's more things, but they're the things that really need attention. So that's me.
Being kept awake at night by list styles.
Yeah, because there's stuff that like looks so broken and is broken. It just sucks.
It is. I just spent like 2 hours doing that last night. There's
Yeah.
stuff everywhere that's broken.
Yeah. My one doesn't add much. It just like resets margin in places and just.
I fixed a bunch of that, so.
Cool. I just need some comments that I put in to say like, we need this margin 0 here. Approved. That's it. Ugh. We need to fix it in core mostly, but I don't think we've got time. Well, that's what you're doing.
No, let's see.
We could discuss this later. Lists are horrible.
Yeah, my last issue is related though. I have the meta still for moving CSS files to classy. Most of those are. There's a lot that need review, but also need work.
Can take a look on the reviews, maybe.
The 2 JS prefix issues, those both have patches and just need review. So if anybody has time to review something, try those. There's only 2 of them. The header footer thing was just an issue I have where I don't think anybody noticed, but the header and footer in a view will still appear in the view even though they're empty. So I fixed that. I think it was reviewed, but nobody RTBC'd it, so it's like a really small thing. If somebody wants to take a look at that, they can just fix that. The library override issue, I'm going to keep on my list. That's the big thing we need. We can do it in 8.1 if we need to. I think it needs some more work from somebody who's smart enough to do it. Like Lori, if you've got nothing else to do. The replace arrows thing, that was on Lewis's list too. That just needs Emma to look at the SVGs that were added for Bartek.
So about the libraries override, I can provide reviews, but I'm not going to be actively working on it because it can be worked on 8.1. So there is not a real reason to be pushing it very hard right now.
Well, no, I mean, there's other things that are more important, but it would be really helpful for some of the CSS template stuff we're trying to do. That guy, I don't know who he is. What's his name? Elmado, who's the one who's been working on it recently. He has patches up, so if you can like review his last patch, I think he fixed a bunch of stuff in it. So maybe that just needs review. Let's see. The mobile testing thing, that's, I guess, a plan that's up where we're discussing things for doing like QA on the mobile experience for a lot of stuff like editing. That mostly needs opinions. So if people are opinionated as to what things should be tested or not tested or how to do it, what browsers, things like that, just take a look at that issue and just put any comments you have in it. And then the last issue is the one I think most of you have seen where we were discussing the CSS policy, whether or not we'd be able to actually change things after 8.0. I think we still need clarification on that issue from core committers. I saw Catch and Webchick on IRC were discussing that, and I think they're working on a page for what things can and cannot be changed after release. And it seemed to be Catch's opinion that there's a lot more front-end stuff we could probably actually change after release than we think. And it seemed like they might have the opinion that, at the very least, we might be able to mark 7 and Bartek as internal, which means we could pretty much do almost anything we want to them after release. So all of the CSS refactoring and things that still need to be done, we could probably continue to do it after release if they actually do get marked internal.
Yay!
Just freaking out right now.
That would make sense because I don't think a lot of people use those as base themes. So
No, and they shouldn't. I think some people I know use 7 as a base theme, like if they want to make some customizations to something that they want to do instead of modifying 7, they'll just like use it as a base, or they'll just copy it or something like that. But I think the opinion should be, yeah, you could do that if you want, but it really shouldn't be supported, so we should be able to fix things if we need to.
Yeah, and mostly they don't do modifications, but they do new features on top of the existing features, like adding a style for a new type of table or something like that. That's something that we changed in 7 might not even break.
Yeah. So I think the other thing is if they agree that Classy is the sort of backwards compatibility layer, then that might mean that we can make changes in core outside of that. So if we still need to like strip out some markup or CSS or something like that, we might be able to do it, but we'll have to see. I think if we at least can get them a ground Bartik in 7, that'd be a big win because we can still keep doing stuff.
yeah, I think you could make the argument that using Core's default markup is the advanced option. You know, like that's plain on hard mode. So if you are doing that, you're more likely, you know, if we make change notices for things that change in Core's markup, then the people that are using that as base are be the ones more likely to pay attention to that.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
As a beginner, you may not know that. I think we had this discussion before, where it was that idea of maybe we'd make Classy like be the default. So like even if you didn't choose something, you still got Classy, and you'd have to actually unchoose it. I don't know if anybody will want us to do that, but
right now the situation.
So I was gonna say in that issue, I had the last comment where I posted a bunch of sort of like things I was thinking about, like use cases. So if anybody wants to read those and see if they make sense or have additional use cases, because I think it'll be easier for us to get clarification from them as to what can change. Like we really need to know, isn't it? Like, can markup change? What kind of markup? Can CSS change? Like, what if we don't change CSS, but like the ordering of CSS files changes? Like, would they consider that a break? You know, I would like clarification on all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it for me for now.
Yeah, I guess it's smart.
All right. Alrighty. Local tests and actions block. Yay! I get to say yay too, so that's just the rules. And then I'm also going to do a yay for branding block. Thanks for RTB seeing that again, Emma. Appreciate it, and for everybody who's worked on that. I'm hoping it gets. I mentioned it to Webchick yesterday.
Sorry, you cut out. I didn't hear what you said. And you cut out again.
I'm cutting out. I keep cutting out.
Okay, you're back now. Oh, no, he's gone.
All right.
Mark's gone. Strobe.
Frozen.
This is hard then if I can't. I'm frozen.
Try cutting your video.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I mentioned the branding block thing to Webchick, and she's got a lot of things on her plate. So I'm hoping just nobody makes comments on it, so it gets higher in the RTBC queue. Anyways. So the next of those block conversion issues, the last one, is the convert title to block thing. I started trying to work on that, and I made things much. Really use some help with that from people who know more what they're doing than apparently me. So I've tried to figure it out, but I'm having trouble. Is that anything you'd be able to look at, Lori, or Joelle, or David, Emma, anybody?
So I looked at the problem on the issue. The problem there is that the title doesn't exist on the pages because of the fact that it needs the block to be placed. And most of the tests obviously don't place the block there. So we need to figure out whether we could make the block module automatically installed for all tests in the standard, in the web test case. Then we could also place the local tasks automatically, because there is quite a few tests already placing the local tasks. Someone actually requested that on the issue already. So,
yeah, I saw it. That was another thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah, so we could do that, or we could just suggest to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be really complicated. Other option is that we fall back for the variable, which is not nice, but we could do it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. But the other thing I'm having trouble with.
There's another thing on that too. Sorry, there's another issue that's dealing with like trying to unconfuse some of how we're escaping the different versions of the title, and so that can just also have some nasty effects on how that's being presented on different parts of the site. So it might have some reasons for why some of the fails are happening, but I'll see if I can find that one for you, just for reference.
On that one is we're getting thousands of exceptions for array conversion to string, and I've tried to figure out what exactly is causing that, and that's not been working. So
always a renderable array. It's trying to print a renderable array, and not.
So I don't know. Right, and I tried rendering it, but I completely failed at that. So I don't know. If somebody could look at that, it's probably something easy that I just don't understand. So I'd love to have some help with that. So.
I can help visually test things and manually test things and stuff. I noticed that like all the titles were broken in the installer and stuff like that when I tried to vaguely test it before. So stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool.
It's probably the same, right, as the other issue we did, where the title still has to go into the variable just for the installer, because the installer is a special snowflake.
Okay. All right. So then but then we can just prepare it within the maintenance or maintenance install stuff, right? We don't have to do it for every page.
No, it was the same thing Joel did. And what was the other issue? It was with the other variables.
Branding block. There's another one.
Okay.
It was something we already got.
Oh.
Maybe it was equal tasks and actions or something like that. So. All right. The markup hash that's getting passed, the title's getting passed to, and I just couldn't figure out how to. Help me with that. Moving on. So the testing in browsers, David already mentioned this. I think the last thing that we had was to define what are the actual tasks that we want to test, and WebCheck was brainstorming that, and some other people may have participated in that as well. So that just needs to get written down and have the issue summary cleaned up. I can work on that part. But what's actually needed then is to actually test things on actual devices, ideally. I mean, you can use simulators, but that may not actually reveal some of the bugs. So, so we're going to have a defined list of here's the browsers that we want to test in. Here's the ones where if it's broken in this browser, it's a critical thing if this certain thing doesn't work. And this item is on the RC1 checklist, so potentially this is a holdup for releasing the RC1. So it's kind of like this hidden, potentially be really painful because potentially the fixes could be blockers too. So
if anybody knows any either like automated testing suite, we have one. There's Tim2Web has one that he's pitched and also used a couple times to help us find visual regressions. But if anybody knows any good ones that they use in real life, then it might be good suggesting some of those, especially to WebCheck. She's looking for those type of issues. Also, functional JavaScript testing suites that you use in real life would help as well.
Well, there's that big giant.
You don't want to unfix these things by fixing other things.
I think that's like one of the main things I want for theming in Drupal 9 is for us to build ourselves. Hopefully, build that into the D-Auto infrastructure. But I don't think that's something we can get in place necessarily for this particular issue.
I don't think we have to wait for 9 for that.
Yeah, I mean, in the
thing.
It would be really helpful. But if we have some local things we can use, that's good. I finally found an issue that somebody had filed. Bar has a stupid arrow on the right-hand side, which is like off.
Yeah, somebody filed an issue for that, finally?
Filed. I think it's something potentially unrelated, but somebody...
I thought it was because I had Twig debug on, so I never looked at it.
Yeah, so anyways...
Oh, maybe that's it.
We should fix that, because it's terrible, and I hate it. So, anyways... this is potential, so for responsive images, there's some interest in, right now we always output the picture element, but the best practice is that there's a lot of situations where you just need an image element with source set and sizes. And since this would be a template revision, probably, to make the change, it probably needs to get in pretty soon. I don't know if anybody has any interest in looking at it, but kind of came up with a plan for how we could make it work, and I probably just need to write some code to try it. But anyways, and then the last thing I had was just that whole issue of should been a lot of once the tasks and actions block thing went in, people were saying like in contrib that their testing stuff was breaking. So why is that?
Because there is no local tasks block being placed in the tests automatically right now, and the reason why it's not done automatically is because block module is a required module.
Okay.
tests. So block module is not always installed right now, and I don't know if we can make it required or not.
I remember having a discussion months ago about this with, I think, Alex Pot. But I don't really remember. I think we're getting to the point. I think the committers might be open to it because really at this point, like, how can you really use Drupal without blocks?
You can.
You know?
You can use only with the variables. But
yeah, but you have to do a lot of work at this point to do that.
Yes, you have to. But it's been the same always. So if you want to use the Drupal without block module, you definitely are a hacker.
Right. So I don't know. Should we open up like an issue to discuss this about the whole should blocks be turned on for testing?
Yes.
And I guess the other thing I'm wondering about is classy does, and Stark has blocks placed in it, right? Or does
you
it?
get cut off there?
The Classy kind of works in a similar way to Stark, right? In that it's kind of, you know, the basic thing that shows how core is working. And I thought we had blocks placed. Do we have blocks placed in Stark?
Yes.
So why don't we in Classy? Is it just because of the testing profile doesn't have block install?
No one has ever added them to Classy, and also other reason for that is Classy is a base team, so no one should be really using Classy as it is.
Yeah, I think because all the core tests that are web tests would just end up using Bartek to test things.
Yeah.
And then the things that are not, that are trying to remove the theme layer, turn Stark on. So there's really no test case to have Classy running by itself.
Actually, most of the tests are using Classy only. But the blocks are not being placed inside the team. They are being placed in the installation profile. And there's actually three installation profiles right now. One is the standard installation profile, which enables Bartik as a default theme, and the blocks are being placed to Bartik. Then there is the other one, which is minimal, and in the minimal installation profile, the blocks are being placed to Stark. Then there's the third one, which is the testing installation profile, which is for Classy.
Okay.
So then what in core is using the testing one?
It's being used by default.
But this isn't an issue for any other core tests?
What do you mean?
Well, what core tests are then? So none of the core tests are checking for blocks.
Some of them are testing for blocks, but not all of them. So for that reason, the block module is not required and enabled by default.
All right.
No, that's what I mean. The ones that do check for blocks, turn the block module on and set the blocks.
Yes, manually.
Right.
And in the local class,
problems in core. The people who are having problems with testing from contrib are basically saying they don't want to do that.
Yeah, but in core, when we added the local tasks, we placed the blocks manually in every test that is testing local tasks. And there was tens of issues testing the local tasks.
All right. Well, I think maybe I'll just file an issue where people can write down their notes and thoughts on this.
Okay.
If for no other reason that all the people commenting on the local tasks and actions one can have something to point it to, rather than like pushing that above 500 comments, because that's going to happen. So.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Sounds good.
Is there anything else you want to add? Or is
Nope.
It
Ta-da!
Okay, Joel, go for it.
Okay. Sorry. Might be a little bit loud here. If it is, let me know. I'll run away. First one is that we got RTPC on Nexus as admin filter. Basically, it changes the way that that pound sign works once again, so that we can make that little, or sorry, the exclamation point. It changes the exclamation point so that instead of escaping if it's not a safe variable, it just admin filters it. The CR, the change record on that thing is really nice to look at because it actually shows you that it's like, oh, it doesn't change when it's going into Twig versus not. Whereas right now it does. It'll escape it in Twig and it won't escape it in other ones. So it doesn't change the safeness anymore. If we can get that one in, that would be cool. Then the next one's for needs attention. There's the needs forms tags views forms. I have the assertion set up for that one, but I have no idea how to build a form with a view. So if anybody knows how to make a form with view, like basically I know where to test it. It's on like admin content. And there's a form with a view that has double forms on it, form tags, like nested form tags. And I just need to create that same type of form in a test. And if I can get that form in a test working, then my assertion should work. That's the hardness of that one. It shouldn't be too hard, but I don't know. So far, I haven't found a test that's in there yet that I could like repurpose or anything. So if anybody has a chance, they could like build me a view with a form.
Is this about the exposed form, exposed filters?
Oh, it's not. It's not about the exposed one. That's the thing. Is there's tests for exposed, but there's not one for the main form one, and that's the one that's getting doubled. The exposed one doesn't have a double, actually. Good point.
All right. Well, I don't see any other forms in views, really.
The one that wraps the entire view. Usually, when there's like, if there's one input field, I think in Drupal 7 is like if you put one input field inside the form, it's like, oh, there's an input field. I need to wrap the whole view in a form. That's where it's doubling up. And actually, if you use admin content, so you're looking at your content page in Drupal 8, because that's a form, you'll see the double, or the nested, right now, like in head, you'll see the double nested form tags for that. And you'll also see the one that's not on.
Joel, you cut out, I think.
Oh, sorry. You'll see right now in head, admin content actually has both the exposed film form and the form that wraps the actual view. The exposed one is not double or nested forms, and the main view itself has the nested ones. So you can literally see that one. It's really easy to see. Just need to build one in a test, which I don't know at the moment. But yeah. The next. Oh, do you want to give that one a? Did you want?
No, I can't help you there, man. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, anybody that knows how to build a view might, or to build that kind of view actually, would be able to help me on that one, I think. I've never done that one before. It always just does it automatically for me. So I just like take it for granted. The next one that needs some classy love. It's the views table. So another views table thing. I can't remember. Mao Palantir. She found that it was kind of gross. We were working on a couple of the other cleanup stuff for safe markup. She found it was kind of gross the way we were building classes inside of that process. We're not using the attribute one, so we're not doing the add class stuff that we use with attribute. And on top of that, we're building the classes of the process. And I know Class C Initiative wants to get that stuff into the template, so this would be an opportunity to do that. So it's about taking a variable and moving that variable to the template. And using that variable to build up the classes in the template. And I think we're doing something similar in another issue right now. Oh, the menu one that Morten probably would be talking about today if he was here. There's a menu one to get the menu classes out of not even preprocessed, whatever they're using to build the menu tree builder, moving that into the template. So if anybody wants to give that a stab, that's there for you. Where the theme function conversion is blocked on bugs that we found when we were doing the conversion. Just recent bugs that like cropped up in the last little while. So the view render pipeline is double escaping the output, and I have a fix for it, but I'm trying to move it to a separate issue so that we can kind of concentrate on the bug and not conflate the two issues. My tests suck, so another one where I need test help. And the tests are just really bad on that one. But the fix is good. For at least half of it, the fix is good. And it also, I think it removes some other stuff that are, like, there's some stuff that's old that hasn't moved to some of the new stuff in the views render pipeline, and so I kind of copied and pasted some of the other stuff for that. And I've been working on, so the next one is I've been working on placeholder removal stuff. So we're trying to use the add placeholder wherever possible. We have a giant issue that like does them all, and I made another kind of giant 300K patch that does all the hook helps, but we're kind of held up a little bit, and I have to read the latest Gabor's comments. Sorry, it's going to be really loud. 1 second. So I'm going to let you guys think about some of those things, and if you have any comments, let me know, because this is going to be loud for a few seconds.
Did you say you needed test help with the view field conversion or the render pipeline one?
Both. I need test help with the one where it says views render pipeline is double escaping. That's the one I need test help with. The theme conversion doesn't. Where we've moved the bugs out of the theme conversion one. So the theme conversion one should be going back after we fix this. It should be going back to its original like 5 lines or so of change. We're getting the bug out of there because if we put the bug in there, we're going to be like trying to package it like an omnibus bill of some sort. So, no, that's not a good thing for Canadians.
That's how you pass the legislation, Joel. That's how you do it.
Yeah, you would know. You're in government. You were in government.
Yeah.
I'll just pass through.
So did we cover all the issues?
Oh yeah.
So about
the last
string.
The which one? The string. Oh yeah. So there's a pretty neat looking thing to get rid of safe markup strings inside of T, and it's basically to return an object from the T function. And so that's kind of what we're aiming to do with some of those other issues. And we're getting pretty close, so we just need some people to review those patches in 5.
Did you see what happened for the issue that you have linked there?
No.
Post won't fix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Which one? The second one or the first one?
The second last one. The first one and the...
Crap. Damn it.
Yeah, I talked with Alex about that on IRC, and we were like, I was like, why are we making this so complicated? Because we could do this with just making a simple changes for the underscore to string methods. Also, the DX of the issue was quite horrible.
So
if anybody
which one?
ever has to face it.
Oh, so the reason why checks and them created that like other issue there was so to use toString, because the magic toString in PHP kind of sucks. It will blow up if you try to throw an exception within it, and exceptions might just happen in those things. So then your site blows up. Function, then we can throw exceptions inside of that. But yeah, it's just a PHP weird oddity. That's the reason that existed. But a close one fix, whatever. I love the magic toString one. Even if it does throw exceptions, I prefer it over everything else because the DX is way better.
Yeah, so there is already a patch on the other issue, and the idea is to just do a try catch inside the toString method, and then throw an exception inside there, which I actually just realized that toString magic function throws a fatal error if you throw exception inside the toString. Okay, that might
that's the problem.
Yeah.
But so he was trying to the whole idea behind that is to try to promote not using toString but still using toString. So the magic toString, the underscore toString one, is the one that fails horribly because the PHP sucks for that. So yeah, so he's trying to use the other one to kind of avoid that, and we can use like Twig to magically call that one instead of the magic one, because Twig can do that automatically, but then everywhere else we wanted to just print that variable or that object, we could just use the magic stuff. So it kind of gives us the benefit of both worlds, but I guess it's close to one fix. So that's that story. But anyways, the whole reason why we were doing that one is because it was blocking some of the other issues, and that other issue is to move stuff to, like the T to a translated string object, and that one has a bunch of metas, so those ones can be reviewed kind of separately so that we can kind of get rid of some of the bugs that we found when we did the whole 9 yards of it, and a few of them have been committed so far, and there's just a few that we're still working on, but that one's kind of my main focus at the moment. So if anybody wants to jump on, I just wanted to bring that one up so that people are aware that's kind of happening, and it's an idea that Alex came up with. I think there's like, if we can get that one working, then we can pretty much get rid of safe markup, like the string, safe markup the string, the giant list of strings, because that's what T is building up right now, is giant list of strings. That's my story. Triple Twig says no.
So, is that it? Is it Manuel's turn?
I can go, I guess. Sure. Well, I only have a couple of things that I have been kind of stuck. First one is the theme table. I'm converting to a table type. It sort of works, but it breaks everything. So basically, I'm not sure whether we should be working here on. I mean, as in, should this patch include the fix that needs to happen for the UI to still work after the patch, or because I mean, and the patch itself right now, I mean, it does its thing, you know, it removes theme function and you get a table type rendering it, but the UI is completely broken. So anyway, if somebody's interested in this useless issue, feel free to chip in. And the other one is the unpublished status of render entities. which is not critical obviously, but I think we should fix it in Drupal 8. I think I pinged you about it before, but Emma, yeah, but so not really sure. I mean, this is something that should be looked at by some of the theme maintainers, in my opinion, just to do it properly. And that's it. So that's the only thing I've been working on lately. I'm completely afraid to touch the convert title to a block issue because it hurts my brain. So if you guys need some help doing something else, let me know. Ping me on IRC or on Twitter or whatever, because I have nothing else to do.
You could help with the classy stuff, for sure.
Many things.
Oh yeah, and all.
You can help on the safe markup.
Oh God.
If markup
Yeah.
Hold on.
You can help with all the things.
All the things. Fix all the things, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just had a few notes about RC1 coming up, real quick. So we're down to there's 6 critical issues. We have one that just a docs thing, and one is the RC1 checklist, which has just been unpostponed. There's a very good chance that we're getting really, really close to RC1. And I looked over like how that happens, and Humanity. So I don't know what happens. They'll decide, okay, we're at 0 criticals. So then the next release date is when it'll actually be RC1. So that the next September 16th. So if we're at 0, then September 16th is the deadline. Until September 16th, not just when we get to 0 criticals, but I think there's probably going to be a high amount of pressure to do that so that we're in release candidate at DrupalCon Barcelona. So
yeah, during that day, they're going to be probably very hesitant to commit anything.
Yeah,
'Cause they don't
I
want
did.
to do anything.
I did, as part of the mobile testing, WebCheck mentioned during RC they can still commit like actual bugs to. There's something that's actually broken that can still be fixed if there's a like really problematic bug. But other than that, yeah.
No, but I mean, even in the time between they hit 0 and the time when they tag RC, if it's like a week, even during that week, I bet they're going to be hesitant to commit anything.
That might be true.
So what should we fix ideally before RC1?
Everything.
Yeah.
That's not an answer. It's not. I mean, something like number one priority that 5% of the people agree on, I guess.
I mean, those block conversions are good, I think, just because I don't see any way that happens after.
Yeah. Yeah, the title one would be awesome to have, but
Right,
it's just
otherwise we're good. Yeah.
We can fix them with the PC layer, probably. So they are not also something that we couldn't fix at all afterwards.
Not real well, because we can't change the template.
Yeah, just
We
we can leave the variable in there.
Yeah, we can leave the variable, but we can't. We may not. If we can't change the template, then.
Oh, why we couldn't change the template? If it's not marked, if the markup
is frozen.
Because changing the template could break a site.
No, because we leave the variable in there. If someone has the overridden template, we will still support that. Because of
Yeah, an overridden one is fine. I'm thinking that if you're using the default one and we move the title to a block, we then have to put it in a region so its actual markup location moves.
But we can try to make a minimal markup change. It should be possible. I believe so.
We have to see. I think we still need clarification.
And it's still the page template, which is overridden by most of the sites.
So
Anything else you
anyhow,
want to discuss? I think about the release candidate that there is no real rest right now because of the smart cache haven't still been committed, and it might create a bunch of new criticals when it gets committed. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we're still a little. I think we still have time before RC, but we're gonna be down at like.
So the latest when it's gonna happen is Barcelona, for sure. That's what we can be sure of now.
yeah, it can't be. If it's not September 16th, it has to be released on a date that syncs up with a Drupal 7 release date. So the next possible date after that is the first Wednesday in October. So I think they're going to really want to have it September 16th, if at all possible.
I'm sure they can make exception on that. I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't mind breaking the rule to tag beta app or tag RC at Barcelona, because they did that in Amsterdam.
Maybe.
They tagged beta at Amsterdam.
they're good at making exceptions.
Yeah, Drace will do his like closing or opening keynote or something and go like, and we now have RC. Everyone will go, yay. The guy found a critical.
So this is the month when the Drupal 8 RC release is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I would say of all the things, I would like to get all that classy CSS moved because it's not difficult, and
Yeah.
that's our backwards compatibility layer. So if we can actually get it moved there, even if we don't fix things, I think we have a better argument to be able to mess with stuff that's in core. But if we can't get those files moved over, and if they don't let us move the files after release, then it's kind of screwed.
Don't we also have still some classes to remove? We have like those issues of like the classy phase 2 or something like that.
There's still a couple of ones in the system module, because some of those were waiting for the JS prefix stuff, and there's 2 of those left. But I think some of the other things that are in the system module, if you look at the meta, I think can still be worked on.
Okay.
It's the ones at the bottom that are alphabetical. So like there's like all the ones that begin with R and all the ones that begin with S and T. And I think there's like 3 or 4 of them left, and I think maybe a couple can still be worked on.
All right.
All right, so classes it is. I mean, moving files, that's easy. I can do that.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
I will provide reviews.
Awesome.
So whenever you need reviews, just ping me on IRC. I will be there during the days pretty well because I'm working on for stuff right now. So I can help you. Anything else? I think we're done. Let's wrap up. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks,
at the party.
All right.
Thanks,
Only a
everyone.
few weeks left till the DrupalCon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll see you there. Hopefully, yeah. But okay, bye.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, have a good week. Touch hard.
Bye.